So here is the overview. So it is launched last year, as I said. The goal is to nurture outstanding engineering students and develop their potentials through challenging coursework and extracurricular activities. So our focus will be on the first part, as this is a teaching sharing seminar about the challenging coursework. When we start this, the most outstanding question is, how challenging is challenging? Or what is more homework? What does more homework mean? And so on and so forth. We will address this later. And we have some experience now, and we will hopefully improve as we go on. So the enrollment in last year, it is 78 students in the entire faculty. Okay. So these are all good students. They they need to meet certain requirements in order to be enrolled in the elite stream. So I personally read through their application forms and approve or reject some cases. So DSE, they have to attain certain standard. Mainland, CUHK, GSAT is 71, so it's pretty high. SAT, high bid, and there are several students from SYSU as well. For continuing students, our standard is, nominal standard is above 3.5 in CGPA, but some of them have extra ordinary achievements in other areas. So we admitted some that are below that line, but they are also performing very well. And also some international students. So this is the composition from last year. We have actually a large batch this year of applicants already. So this now I think is up to 80 something now. But this is last year's number. Okay. So the distribution of program by program of study. This is last year. So a lot of the broad-based moved into the programs already. But this is the picture from last year, the snapshot. Let's say at the beginning of August. Okay. So so this is the breakdown. As you can see, CS has a lot of elite students. Erwin and I chatted a little bit about this, and probably because CS department previously has a similar initiative in their department, so they kind of know what to expect and so on. But we are encouraging students from all programs, all departments to join, and this is one aspect that we will need your help here, and I will mention this again at the end. Okay. So as I mentioned, the course requirement, they have stream requirements if they actually want to get a certificate saying that they enrolled in the elite stream and successfully completed it. So they have a course requirement. So this is roughly that. There is a FYP. They have to enroll in a special FYP. So the exact content will be designed between the student and their supervisors. There are courses, and they are required to take even one graduate level course. Okay. Now, so this is the teaching aspect of it. Of course, for those who are new to the elite stream, so we actually, if they don't fulfill these requirements, we still allow them to stay in the stream, just that they won't get the certificate when they graduate. Okay, so they can still enjoy all the stream benefits like scholarships, exchange, extracurricular activities, and so on. So we just want them to, for example, take a couple courses. If they find it too challenging and they don't want to finish the requirements, that's fine. We allow them to stay. But of course, ultimately, we want them to finish this to train up their skills. Okay. So, oops. So the as you saw, the course, the elite courses, which are coded ESTR, okay, form an integral part of this stream. Okay, so this is the major part where we train them, where we get in touch with them, and talk to them. Okay, so there are two formats of delivery. I think most of you may have known by now, but let me just introduce this, just that we are clear. So one is the mirror format. Mirror format is, I guess, in terms of setup, it is less because the class is shared with the regular course. Okay. So the lectures are all identical. The lecture times are identical. Of course, the contents should not be identical. Okay, but for the because it is an elite course, ESTL coded, so we are supposed to give them more challenging coursework and different assessments. Okay, at the beginning, last year at this time, we really don't know what this means. Okay, so what does it mean by more difficult? What does it mean by different? And so on. But at least now we get some idea. So we are going to share about this in a moment. So this is the mirror format. Okay? Oh, by the way, if you have any questions in the middle, please interrupt. Okay, so because this is a sharing session. Okay. So for the real format, I guess operationally this is the easiest because it is an entirely standalone course. So you can design its own curriculum, its own assessment methods, and so on, just like any courses you would. Okay. So so the timetable is different, so separate lectures, and but same. I mean, in terms of the requirements, more difficult coursework and different assessments. So our students have gone through 1 year of this. So how are they doing? Okay. In fact, they are doing very well. Okay. So these are their performances in the ESTR coded courses. Okay. So term 1 we have less students enrolling in ESTR courses because it is the first time. They want to wait and see, and they want to see whether their peers survive. So that is a lower enrollment. But as you can see, a lot of them get very high grades. I should mention that typically in the elite courses, whether it is the mirror or the real format, the class size is very small. And so you have a flexibility in terms of grading. So the university guideline is if it is below 20, I believe, then you need not follow the university distribution.
So this is very skewed.
Yeah, this is very skewed. And so wherever they achieve the standard, then the professor can give them the appropriate grade. Okay, but still, you can see there are some in the lower end. Okay, and for the lower ones, I actually met with them and discussed whether they have issues, and so check up on them and just make sure everything is doing fine. Okay. Second term, the number jump up as they have more experience. Okay, so and you can see it is still not the entire crowd. Remember, we have 78, but not all of them. And some of them are repeated, right? Because one of them may take multiple elite courses. So there are still some who we admitted, but who are not brave enough yet, or who are not willing to take the challenge to take the elite courses. But still, they met the entrance requirements, so we enroll them in the stream. Okay. So the second term, it is similar. It is also skewed. But they are doing quite well in general. Okay. So some of the major challenges in course delivery, I think this is why you are here. So we want to know about some of the teaching challenges and experiences that we have. So I guess it could be classified into these 3 aspects. So first of all is curriculum design. Okay, so how would you design an elite course, right? So then, of course, for the real format, that is easier because it is a standalone class. And because the student body is so small, so maybe 10 or 12 students in a class, you can really track each and everyone's progress, and you can design the material dynamically as you go on, okay? For a format, operationally, that really causes some difficulty because the lecture times are the same, right? So when would you give them this extra material, right? So it must be through other means. Okay, so this I will mention in my third point about contact hours with students. Okay, so this is, I think, one of the major challenges for teachers teaching the mirror format. Okay, how would you ensure you have extra material and also contact hours and also the assessment methods? But in general, it would be like an accelerated version of a regular course. Okay, so these students are very motivated. They actually learn fast. They get the concepts fast, and sometimes they want more reading. So really, it can be designed as an accelerated version. So for example, if it is a mathematics class, you can include, for example, proofs that you would normally skip in a regular course. But I would let the other teachers share their experience later. Okay. The second point is about coursework. Okay, so about the workload and level of difficulty. So as mentioned in the previous slide, the elite course, whether it is mirror or real, should be different, and it should be more difficult. And I think most of us are struggling with this concept. It is abstract. What is more difficult? What is different? Okay. So here are just some of my thinking. I think in terms of philosophy, the elite stream is to train up our students and to equip them for today's fierce competition, whether they go to grad school afterwards or go to industry afterwards. So from this perspective, the course material should be challenging enough and equip them for these future challenges. So in particular, the emphasis could be more on the depth, okay? So more on the fundamental skills and on extensions or things like that. So more advanced material, and not necessarily on the amount of work. Okay, so for example, in a calculus class, right? So if you're teaching an elite, but you are just giving them like 5 more questions about integration of the similar flavor as the previous one, I don't think that is very helpful in some sense, right? Because if it's similar difficulty, it's just repeating what has been done in the regular course. Okay, so not necessarily on the amount of work, but of course you can also increase that as well. And the second aspect is you could train more than technical skills. Of course, we are in an engineering school, so most of our courses are either math, science, programming, or lab, whatever, right? But in the design of elite courses, we can also try out something that is other than training technical skills. For example, in my discrete math class, I actually introduced a writing component, okay? So this idea, I got it from Stanford. In Stanford, the undergrads, they have a writing in major requirement. So even if you are a math major, so when you take a real analysis course, very technical, right? It's like calculus, right? So, but you still need to write an essay, an expository essay, okay? So what are you going to write on, right? So it would be a theorem in the book, okay? And so last year I tried it out in the discrete math class. I asked them to write an expository essay on the Stirling's formula, okay? How do you prove it? So I give them the entire outline of the proof, okay? And they did a homework on that. But the point is they need to write an expository essay. So it cannot be just math every line, okay? So you need to motivate where this comes from, why is it important, what are the potential applications, just like an introductory chapter in a textbook, let's say, okay? So this could be one aspect. I'm not saying everyone should do this, but this is one way you can train skills other than technical skills, okay? So this is about some of the aspects about workload and level of difficulty. And so I know some colleagues like to give out more substantial projects. That is also great. Train on their skills to manage a large-scale project or one with with a lot of components. Now, the third point is about contact hours. So especially in the mirror format, as I mentioned, in the mirror format, the students will attend lectures, the same lectures as the regular students. So clearly, it is very difficult to inject very difficult material in those lectures. I mean, the majority of the class will rebel against you, right, if you just go too fast and very difficult. So this year, we proposed that we include an extra 45-minute tutorial exclusively for the elite students. So if they sign up for a mirror course, okay, so there will be an extra 45-minute tutorial for them. And this will be taught by the course instructor himself or herself, okay? So we wouldn't want the TA to do this, okay, because otherwise that would be just a regular tutorial. We want the teachers, the professors, to have more contact hours with the students and to have this extra 45-minute tutorial. So this is just being proposed and approved by the Faculty Exco. So this will be in effect in the second term. In the first term, I also thank colleagues who volunteer to implement this system. So in the first term, some of the mirror format elite courses will have this, but that is on a voluntary basis. But I thank the colleagues who take this up because this really increased the contact hours with the students. And I think that, and I hope the others would agree, those who have taught the elite classes, that these students is really enjoyable to interact with. I mean, they are motivated, they really want to learn, and of course, I know Mo has experienced that this student so want to learn that it actually challenged him, right? So I think he will share more about this. Okay, so moving forward, well, of course, we appreciate and need a lot of your help to make this a successful program and to train up our best students. So promotion. I guess a lot of students are still not aware or are reluctant to join the stream. So I would like to seek your help to promote this to your program, to your department, and attract and train the best students in our faculty. Regarding course offering, it will be good to ensure we have enough of this. And again, I thank you all for offering to take up a mirror or a real format in these sessions. And in particular, upper level ones, we will need more 3,000 levels and 4,000 levels, I suppose. No, 3,000 levels.
More 3,000.
More 3,000 levels as they want to fulfill their stream requirements. So it would be bad if we have this requirement, but we don't have the selection for that. Okay, currently, this will be a very small class size because we are still filling up the pipeline because we just launched the scheme last year. Okay, but don't be discouraged. As the years move on, I'm sure there will be more and more students filling up the class. Okay. Rigorous and all-round training. So as I said, rigorous in terms of the technical content, but also all-round, not necessarily limited to technical skills. It could be writing, presentation, and other skills. And actually, students have very high expectations from the stream. Some students, they come and say, well, the elite is not so much different from the regular. I just get a little more homework. And so they're actually expecting more. Okay, so and they really motivated, and I'm sure the teachers will share about this later. Okay, and your feedback is very important because obviously we cannot know how it is run everywhere. So if you find, for example, some good or bad experiences, let us know, please. Also, the challenges you face and what solutions you have in mind. These are all very welcome and very valued. Okay. So, do we have one or two quick questions? If not, then we'll move to the sharing session. So the second part, I have invited a couple colleagues to share their experiences, so they will come up and tell you how they feel in the course they taught. But before that, do we have one or two quick questions? Yes, Jonathan.
I'm still trying to understand this. So you're now soliciting for more upper level ESPR courses, right?
Right.
Yeah. So those are harder courses, and not maybe. I'm just thinking from a student's point of view, they may not be brave enough to take. So what if we organize an ESPR course with not enough enrollment? Let's say less than 10. Does it hurt the teacher?
No, not for the mirror.
Okay.
Yeah, you can always offer the mirror format. For the real, if you see you have 10, you should actually offer a real format course.
Okay. But if I drop below 10 of the ESPR?
Yeah, even 5. I think in our current arrangement, 5 to 10 is still a full load.
Yeah, we kind of expect at the upper level you have fewer people, so most likely it's mirror, not real. But if you have more people, do a real.
Right. And for the mirror, it is flat 0.33 more. Just that you need to arrange this tutorial. Okay, good. Any questions? Okay, so if not, so I have today invited a couple of our colleagues, Mo, Xian Kai, Hong, and Xuefeng, to come up and share. So in any order. Mo, what do you do first?
Is it stand out there?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
come on up, come on up.
And maybe Xian Kai, you put in the slides.
You're speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't prepare any slides. I taught 3 elite classes last year. One in mirror mode, 2 in real mode. The 2 are actually identical. They are the ESTL version of the introductory programming course, ENGG 1110. And the mirror one is the 3000 level operating system course. Okay. Well, let's talk about the 3000 because this seems that the 3000 is a more pressing issue. The 3000 level is actually, from my personal point of view, I advocate the mirroring mode offering. So why is that? Because 3000 levels, as Jonathan also mentioned, that they are difficult topics, right? So in regular classes, some of the elite students already feel struggling, okay? And maybe Anthony has missed one or 2 points that actually I have dropped out. Okay, I have two drop out from the operating system course elite versions. Okay, they are really late, close to the week 8 or 9 when once I issue assignments. Okay, okay, and that 3000 level is actually like an add-on, to the course. The regular topics they already don't know what it is, so they need to attend it. And the add-on is actually why I make it 3 hours. It's because I have a workshop. Okay, the operating system course I tell them, hey, how to compile the entire Linux. Okay, so 3 hours to fill, I would say. Okay, so if it goes through all the process, then we need more hours. And I also teach some of the material that is missing from the curriculum. Let's say that I tell them, hey, how to read some of the difficult codes. Let's say I introduce an operating system scheduler in a certain abstraction layer. Then I will go to the elite course and open the code to them. Yeah, this is the operating system code, 1,000 lines. And they turn out that they know what it is. And they know how to modify it in an assignment and create an entire new operating system. Okay? So then they feel satisfied. Yeah, you see, the level is they feel satisfied is they invent a new scheduler. Okay? And back to the real course. Okay? The real course is ENGG 1110. In my experience, 2,000 level may be easier to handle. 1,000 level is extremely hard to handle. I really got a lot of frustration. What is this frustration? Some of the people, the programming skills is compatible with me. How can I handle it? Yeah. 2 of them, one is joining the Google Code of Summer, one is already doing an internship in local startups in the summer when they graduate from secondary school. So, at my level. Okay, and that's why they keep on skipping classes. And I have a lab section 2 hours. Most of the elite student is just merely can finish it within that 2 hours. That guy 10 minutes per questions. I got 3 or 4, and they go away within 1 hour. Okay, so the 1,000 level is hard to handle because some of the materials already taught in high school. Okay, so I will expect that the real class mode, okay, is actually to encourage those just into the field, okay, and they are very eager to learn, to open up their horizon. What are the possible options instead of the regular class? Okay, so let's say the operating system. I tell them there is some way to implement the operating system that I don't offer the option that they realize it. And the elite, I give them the way to realize it. And they really satisfied it. And and they also talk about the diehard fans. Okay, that diehard fans also satisfied it, but he's not so capable. So that's another story. Okay, what else? Oh, the assessment. Okay. For the assessment, as Chester already asked how about the examination, so and so forth. For examination, I used to replace some of the easy questions with difficult questions. So I keep the examination to 100 marks, but all the easy questions are gone. Okay, I guess it's close to 30% of the question paper, which are the difficult questions, and that's all about the examination. About the regular assessment, as you have heard, I gave them harder exercises, okay, but I give them enough guidance during the workshop so they can all complete it, and that's why I need 3 hours. Okay, so any questions? I think I'm enough.
Yeah, would you do this again and why?
Oh yeah, good questions, huh? Well, really, I think that the regular classes nowadays is, not very entertaining for me. Okay, for me it's not very entertaining. So I prefer to teach more elite actually. Before the elite stream class, as Irvin has also known about it, we have the honor class section in CSE. I also teach 3 honor classes, two times for the networking, 1 time for operating system. So I just carry what I know into the new elite stream. Okay, and for the networking, I didn't launch it again because I feel that it's too horrible. Okay, Yeah, too horrible for the student. I used to tell them, hey, this is the BT protocol, implement BT. Yeah, and they would say that BT means a 变态. Yeah. So yeah, so this is my sharing. Any questions? Yes?
Yes, how about the students after finish the course? How they feel about it? Even for this workshop today, it's good to listen from the elite system. How they feel?
How they feel?
About what to do from our angle or our side.
Let's focus on the junior class first. The junior class is actually very satisfying because I teach something extra. Let's say the introduction to programming. I teach them how to write AI programs, which should be authored in the third year. Okay, so I give them some preview of some of the fields in engineering. So they really find it challenging. And if I also hire two as the junior RA, they continue to do some of the project of my own. I teach them, and they start to be a very newbie in a dirty JavaScript. Now they are indie programmers with open source project hosted by them. So they are really enjoying. And for the senior years is quite difficult to describe because they already have some of their capability which is strong. Let's say some people are already strong in programming, and they just come here and take the practice and out. Some is really want to know what I'm going to teach, and they not find really a very big frustration, but they find that, oh, the reality is, wow, that is difficult. Okay, so I received different kinds of comments, but from the junior classes, all are positive. For the senior classes, half and half. Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, Mo got one of our VC award, faculty outstanding teaching award. Also quite a few sitting here. Anthony and Don, to name a few. I think those really have passion to teach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So last year, it was my first year here at CUHK, and I feel quite privileged to co-teach this course, ESTR 2006, which is the elite version of EnrichmenT 2520, the engineering physics with Professor Zhao Ni. At the very beginning, I didn't know too much about the requirement and expectation from the students because it was the first time. And so also during this course is also a learning process for myself. And today I feel excited to share with all of you our satisfaction and some frustration during teaching this course. So basically we divided the course content between ourselves. So Zhao Ni took the electrostatics, I took magnetostatics and electromagnetic fields. And then she took it over on interference, diffraction, basically the properties of optics and the interaction between photonics and matter waves, and finally some basic on quantum mechanics and solid-state physics. Because at the beginning when I discussed with her, she mentioned every time she taught this course, she felt kind of frustrated to let the student understand the fundamentals of electromagnetism. So because I'm physics major, so I would like to see what really the problem is. So I think my contribution to this course is, then I actually found the problem because this is ENGG 25220 was it's an engineering faculty level course, so there's a committee, core committee to make up all these slides. So each instructor is responsible for one part. So then I found that because lacking of the consistency, so it makes the student feel really difficult to understand how you get to the electromagnetism. So basically, the logic flow is not that good. So basically, I reordered all the slides and make the logic flow very clear, especially for electromagnetism. So about the difference between the ESTR version with that older version of 2520, so we add more course content, especially on the applications of electrostatics and magnetostatics, and also electromagnetism. More relation on the everyday applications, so that makes the course content more interesting. And also I include a lot of YouTube videos so that they can easily understand the basic concepts. On the assessment, we maintain more or less the same, home of 12%, quiz is 3%. And the major difference is that we ask them to make a final mini project. So we gave them several topics on electromagnetics. And so one is plasmonics and metamaterial, and one is superconductivity, and one is optical fiber communication. So they are grouped into 2 or 3 persons. So they did a survey in those relevant areas, and then they make a presentation in the last lecture. And during the promotion, we mentioned that the bonus, the credit they receive from the mini project is actually an additional bonus for this course. So they were excited at the very beginning. And so here I would like to share with you some course feedback. So this is about, we took this course, the questionnaire. We got some course questionnaire from on 12th of February. That's more or less or 1/3 during this our course. We collected 9 questionnaires from the 10 students, and you can, so basically three of them feel good, 3 of them feel neutral, and only 1 got very negative feedback. So the first one, the challenge is good, and he even drew a cartoon to show that he appreciated our effort. And could be helpful if you have more, to have some pointers to reference materials that help in our understanding. So then after that, we include more supplementary materials for them to read after class. Second, wow, that's a lot. Feedback. Interesting course. Like a brain war. Informative. Too much to digest in a short time. Material covered in DSE can be, I think that's differential information.
That is local exam. The local exam.
Oh, local, sorry.
Local school. Local high school.
Can receive or go through faster. More time to explain and give example to how to use the Gauss's law and Ampere's law. And TA really prepared a lot for the course. Really abstract, so abstract. Actually, this student didn't know what the physical meaning of the displacement field, the magnetic field, magnetization, and polarization. So basically, after this course, we gave them the response to address each of the questions they raised in their questionnaire. Okay, third one, good. Thank you for your effort for teaching this course. Found the course very interesting and very difficult. we can put more time to focus on the derivation of some equations and the explanations on physical meaning and equations. We can slow down a little bit. Actually, we already slowed it down, and I think at that time I maintained the speed to be even slower than the rapid version, but they still feel it's fast. So at that time, I found the problem that for this course, because during this course, for the derivation of some electromagnetic equations, I need to use the vector calculus. And that time they didn't learn that, so they feel that they just cannot get it and feel very frustrated. So we keep emphasizing them to comfort them that you'll be fine. Once you learn the vector calculus, then you'll know all of this derivation of equations, and you appreciate its beauty. The fourth one, okay, problem for me. However, the lectures could be uploaded earlier, so we also correct that ourselves later. Be great, and talk to you. Also complain on M, V, and H. In the blackboard will help us to learn better. Yeah. So then we correct ourselves so that they can preview the slides in advance. Okay, next. Okay, kind of fast. Spend more time on how to solve the examples. No, just showing those examples. Please don't say too much abstract concept. And this one, too late to dismiss class. Too many examples. Little explanations, and also complain.
So how much extra time are you spending? You say that time on chat. What does that mean? You're spending extra
15 minutes.
50?
No, 15. Because originally I thought the class would be dismissed on 5:30. Because when I was in the United States, you always start on an hour or dismiss on half an hour also. And then I realized on the course schedule it should be dismissed on 5:15.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So you were 15 minutes.
Yeah. And so then after that, I also paid attention to that, and they were much happier. Okay, also complain that too late to upload slides. And homework, the scope of homework is slower than the lecture. So that's not our problem, because this is a centralized this course, and we have to follow the speed or the upload schedule of the regular versions. And hope tutorial class can do some uncredited practice. Thank you. Okay, this one neutral. Too many equations need to memorize very hard. We are just memorizing but not understanding these equation concepts. Tutor is very good, understandable. But during lecture, I understand less than half of the material. Okay, last one. Too hard. Using my secondary school knowledge, I understand nothing. Whoa. Especially the integration. I need a holiday to catch up. Maybe abandon the classes and allow students to learn by themselves. This will save much time, effort for both teachers and students. Okay, so after this, Zhao Ni and I had some debate or discussion on how to improve this situation. So we formally replied to them during the class. So basically they addressed it. So we summarized all these complaints, and upload slides ahead of time. 3 from them explain basic meaning. 5, so probably this is the major problem for us. Tutorial do calculations show more math steps. Slow down, offer more supporting materials. Homework cannot be lecture scripts or too late to dismiss class. So after that, we basically correct all of this and also add more physical explanation and examples to help them understand the concepts. And more specifically, I think that the local students sometimes have some attitude issues, although they are very smart. So especially I direct them to watch this video, the Nick story. I'm not sure how many of you know him. If you are interested, you can go to this link. So basically, Nick is a very strong man. He was born without arms and legs, but he can do most of skills that normal people cannot achieve. And also listed several methods for them to conquer electromagnetism. And I personally feel that after these slides, they are more cooperative and come to me more often to ask questions. And I didn't ask them how many of them really watched this video, but I could feel the difference. And lastly, this is the final grade distribution. Out of 10 students, 8 got A and 1 A minus and only 1. So overall, I feel satisfied for this course and just feel a little bit depressed that I'm not going to teach the course in this coming year. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any quick questions? I guess we should move on. So, yeah, so, Stefan, yes, maybe finish within 3 5.
Sure. So in the interest of time, I'll be keeping it short. I taught ESTAR 2002. That's the elite version of probability and statistics as ENEG 2430. So my general observation is that 2 points. Number one is that these students are really, really good. They are much, much more active than the regular ones. Okay, I also taught a regular version of this probability and statistics class. And I can interact with them, and actually quite a lot. And the meaning of this point is that I can be quite adaptive in my teaching. So I always checked with them, whether I'm going too fast or too slow. Some of them in the beginning of the class they think it's too slow because they probably already learned some probability knowledge in their high schools. So I can speed up later, and so on and so forth. So basically, I find them very engaging, active, and I can kind of adapt to my progress. So eventually, I managed to kind of teach in more 10 or I would say 10% or 50% more than the regular class. So that's in terms of both breadth and depth. So in terms of depth, I taught, as Anthony says, I taught about some proofs of some probability theorems and also statistical theories. And in terms of depth, I actually, the textbook for these two courses, regular one and elite one, actually are the same. But I put a lot, other materials for the elite course, so they can learn more in terms of depth, the breadth as well. And the second thing is that students' expectation is actually quite high. And I think I want to share with you that one lesson that I learned from teaching this course is that I also need to manage my own expectation. So that's probably one of the, I would say, mistakes that junior faculties like me could make. I got this point actually from the teaching, from the interactions after the midterm. I was expecting very high for this class of students, and I gave a midterm exam that is totally different from the regular one. And basically the problems are too hard. Okay? So it's, I talked to Anthony, we need to make it a little bit difficult, more difficult for the elite students, but it's kind of difficult to actually guess what's the meaning of too difficult. So I actually don't know, what's the level of the students, even though I interacted with them a lot. But I kind of accidentally give 2 demanding midterm exams. So So to give you an idea, their average is around, the median on average is around like 60 something, okay? So I would say probably these are really, really excellent students that hurt them a little bit, at least, okay, from my kind of interaction with them. Because in their final, actually, I give the same final exam to the elite students as the regular ones. The regular ones, the average is like 60 something, but the elite ones is like 90, okay? So they are much, much better, okay, in terms of the learning quality. They are better than the elite students are better than the regular ones. So I think that's the lesson that I want to share with you, that, you know, make it, you know, what's the meaning of making it too difficult or more difficult. We need to manage our own expectations, especially like, you know, for young professors like me. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I wish to share with you my own experience. So so actually I am a research staff at the Big Data Decision Analytics Research Center. But last year I was teaching a course on stochastic models offered by the Department of System Engineering and Engineering Management. So I wish to give you some backgrounds about my course. So actually in my course I only have 2 students enrolled, for the elite class. And so for my for the assessment, so basically they are almost the same, but for the elite class, what I did, I actually gave them a project so that they can explore some advanced topics on their own. And then and other thing I would like to share with you is so actually these students are really, really good because like for my assessment, so I used the same set of questions for the midterm and exam. But like the scores of these 2 students, they were like 90 something. But the average of the other students were like just 70. So they are very outstanding. So actually, I think we can expect more from them. Because like when we were doing the project, and then so they actually did more than what I expect. So I just tell them, so what you need to do, so you have to read some papers, and then you give a presentation, and then you write some codes, and then presents to me. But after that, I think I found that they actually went to the internet and then find out more papers, do more research, and then I think they are quite self-motivated. So they are very good students. And so if like this semester, if I need to do the elite class again, I think I would include more difficult questions in the assignments, midterm exam, midterm and also final exams, because I think they would enjoy. So more to share. I think, yeah, that's all.
Okay. Okay. Well, so thanks our colleagues for sharing their valuable experience. I think I hope you get a sense of how this is being run. So in the interest of time, maybe we'll just end here today. Let's thank the 4 speakers again for their